John Cena has broken up with me. He's broken up with Luke. He's broken up with that poor kid who was just sitting there in the crowd, and the camera cut to him and he was like, je ne sais pas. Something French, something Flemish. I'm sure our Belgian friend in the chat will tell us what was going on there. Yeah, John Cena has explained his heel turn. I'm Ollie Davis, live from the studio, and Luke is live from his mugshot.
Yes, I am on childcare duty today, so I am WFH. I'm working from home. I'm getting proper flashbacks to 2020 here. I don't often get to do this sort of setup anymore, but it means that we are live via satellite for the WrestleTalk podcast today.
Yeah, and for everyone, exciting times because Luke has joined a gym, and this is now part of his personality. Won't shut up about it.
That is not true. That is not what happened at all. I happened to mention today, like, Ollie asked me to do something today, and I said, oh, I'll do that in a minute. I've just got to go to the gym quickly. And then I got back, and then a few hours later, just before we went live, Ollie said to me, did you join the gym? And I said, yes. And now he is saying that I'm constantly talking about it.
Yeah, just always about the gym. Oh, I did a run yesterday. Oh, I did this.
Look, I shaved 4 minutes off my time on
It's
Sunday.
impressive.
I shaved 4 minutes off my 5K. I got it to sub 32, so I'm pretty pleased about it.
Can we get a thumbs up for Luke's fitness journey? Please press the thumbs up. Give us a subscribe if you haven't already. Let us know what you think of Luke going to the gym down in the comments. And also John Cena's heel turn explanation. Nothing about The Rock and all that stuff, but more him as a character. And send in your chat Gables, allegedly El Chatadors, but we don't know.
We don't know.
To WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll read out every single one. Over $5 before the end of the show. But right now, we're going to open.
Before we do, because I'm getting real 2020 vibes here.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. Look what we've got.
Oh my God. So we've got all the clips we used to play in the pandemic.
Do you want another one?
Yeah, I do.
I bet you've forgotten all about this one.
Yes! Someone whose whole job it is to make injuries look real. Yeah. Eva, don't tell me. What's her name?
Eve Torres. Can you remember?
No, not Eve Torres.
No, not Eve Torres.
Eva. Is it Eva? It's Eva, right?
Eva, yeah. Get there.
Eva.
Think what you might put onto a prawn cocktail.
Lemon? Lemon juice?
What do you put onto prawns to make it a prawn cocktail?
I don't know, seafood sauce?
It's got a specific name.
Eva Marie. Well done. Oh, well, let's play a couple of those later on in the show.
I've got some, don't you worry.
We've got a little prawn cocktail for all of you fans at home. Doesn't everyone pine for the lockdown years as well? It's 5 years almost to the day.
Oh, well, it is actually almost 5 years today that you and I did our first remote podcast together. And look how different Raw is now.
Yeah. Right, so John Cena is a heel. We haven't heard from him for 2 weeks because he turned heel at the Elimination Chamber show, and then he had to go shoot a movie. But it's the road to WrestleMania. We're on the European tour, and I've got to do this because Laurie will not shut up about his own joke here. He texted me last night as he was watching Raw, and the first thing he said to me this morning was, "Did you use it? Did you credit me?" We got Brussels, loyalty, and respect.
Very good. Can he keep that up for next week when it's in Glasgow? Can you think of a new version of that?
Well, we'll ask him.
Yeah,
well, that's it. Right now?
I can't think of any right now, but I'm going to lay down the challenge for him to come up with one that's just as good as Brussels, loyalty, respect.
So John Cena comes out at the start of the show. He is the first segment, which I don't know about you. I felt like it was one of those segments where, everyone knows it's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment in the 2011 CM Punk John Cena match at Money in the Bank when CM Punk's done his whole entrance. He's got a second pop from the crowd by running around the ring, and then everything just goes quiet for a bit. And they hold on that weird moment for about 3 seconds. And it's like the quiet before the storm, that expectant eeriness. And then Cena's music hits and everyone's like, boo! And I got vibes of that here because they do the usual Raw opening. We get the commentary desk. Then there's a video package of Cody's promo on John Cena from the previous week. And then it's just beat, beat, beat. And then Cena's music hits.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was so good. And it actually was a lot like you used to hear back in the day when John Cena's music would hit, which is that initial hooray, and then overcoming that and much louder boo. It's almost like a sort of a Pavlovian response. It's like you hear a familiar entrance music, so you pop for it. But man, do you know what? This Brussels crowd, credit to them. I'm sure that Ben Vlerick in the chat later on will have some big thoughts on the Belgians within this chat. But credit to them, they understood the assignment today, and they played their part perfectly.
You know what? Because you've not been in the office today. A lot of chat about the Cena heel turn. And the first thing Dave and Wes said was, a bit too much, the crowd, weren't they? I said, what? I would take this crowd every day of the week over Corpus Christi silence.
Me
Oh,
too.
no. The product is too over. The fans are too engaged. I get what they mean. They're like, we don't want the Raw After Mania crowd where they just kept on going into business for themselves.
They weren't going into business for themselves. This is so much different from those European crowds that were there for the Raw After Mania or like the Hijack Raw era, because that was a period of time when the fans did not like WWE but still went to the shows, so were voicing their disapproval at it or throwing beach balls around or doing whatever it was, doing a wave as a sort of a vocal protest against the show. People like WWE now. We used to talk about this with the Sami Zayn Cody Rhodes thing. We're like, oh man, people might turn on Cody Rhodes because they're so into Sami Zayn, ignoring and not seeing the bigger picture. No, people just like WWE now, so they're going to cheer and really enjoy the product because the product is good now.
And part of that means they can take risks, like turning Cena heel in his final year. And after he stood there for a long, long time, this was a long opening segment, but I think they earned it. It's like
absolutely
making. Cena stood for about, 6 minutes, just soaking in the "Let's go Cena" chant, Cena sucks chants. Then we got like "F you Cena," and Netflix did their best to censor it about 4 seconds after it would happen.
Oh yeah, poor job on that.
And then he got into the meat of his promo, and that is, I have been in a toxic relationship with you, the fans, for the last 20 years, and now I'm getting out of it. You took from me all those years, even the people who cheered me on, you took from me, and now I'm not going to give anything more to you. I'm a human being, not a heel or a baby face.
Yeah, I thought that was a great line.
It's essentially a you people promo, which we have mocked over the years because it was WWE's default way to turn someone heel and not really put in the effort to find an actual reason.
Yeah.
Where it's okay here is because John Cena most definitely can cut a you people promo. He has earned that because we told him he sucked for 15 years.
And the rest.
Yeah.
You say 15 years, but we were telling him he sucks in 2006, which was, 20 years ago, mate, or 19 years ago. But yeah, like this is not Becky Lynch in 2017 when she was doing a "You People" promo, even though everyone was cheering Becky Lynch over Charlotte Flair and everyone else. This was a genuinely earned "You People" promo, and I think some people thought that we didn't like the promo segment because we put on the thumbnail "John Cena sucks," but that's just because I put that on there because I thoroughly enjoyed the crowd really playing into the John Cena sucks. They did it in the entrance theme, and they were doing it throughout the promo as well. The John Cena sucks, and there was the "Let's go Cena sucks" stuff. I thought it was just so wonderful, and I think that John himself played his part in this segment because I've seen some of the Ultra Chats we've had in already, and there are some people who are like, there's no mention of The Rock, there's no mention of the title, there's no mention of WrestleMania, there's no mention of Travis Scott, there's no mention of the soul and why he sold the soul, but we've got time. You want to look at Jey and Gunther. You don't want to, do all of your good stuff early doors. We've still got 5 weeks before we get to WrestleMania. This was just about why he turned heel. We don't need the explanation of the soul or the Rock or the final boss just yet. So I thought everything he did in this was so great. And I love this idea that all of the discussion since the heel turn is, what's the gear? What's the entrance music? What's the entrance? And he's like, you're getting the same. You're getting the same jorts. You're getting the same entrance music because it's my words on that. Your time is up and my time is now. And we're getting the exact same John Cena, but he's a baddie now.
Yeah, and I'm sure that was always the plan. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. It's the beauty because they'd already made all the merch.
Yep.
Maybe he wasn't going to turn heel until WrestleMania originally, and they're like, yeah, but the European merch orders are a bit more logistically difficult to turn around. We've already shipped it there.
But also, like, if you've made all that merch, you can't then sell it afterwards. You've got, if you make gig specific shirts, you can't then sell those shirts at other gigs.
Yeah, it's bespoke to the one night that it happens in. Well, we don't know. There is just one possibility out there where John Cena was meant to turn heel at WrestleMania. That was the big angle at the end of the show, aligning with The Rock. And they moved it forward to Elimination Chamber, which does explain why there's so much babyface John Cena merch in this run of European dates.
Or, counterpoint, this was never the plan.
Oh, never the plan to turn John heel?
No, never the plan.
And the plan was for Cody to turn heel?
There was never going to be a heel turn. Like, maybe there was going to be none of this Rock soul business. That maybe there was going to be none of this, and it's all come together very much at the last minute. I'm not saying that I truly believe that. I'm just putting out there as a worldview of a potential that The Rock has shown up at the last minute and being like, I'm going to make WrestleMania about me. Let's do a Cena heel turn. I want it to be Cody. Let's do a Cena heel turn. And, maybe it's just something like along those lines. It could be.
Are you saying that Grammy Award-winning musical artist Travis Scott just randomly turned up and joined a mega trio heel faction?
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out whether he's actually part of this group. That's still, TBC, I guess.
Yeah. So when he came out initially, and it was the same music, and there wasn't a record scratch, and he was in the same jorts, and we'd already seen the Belgian Burgundy merch. There was a bit in me that went, oh, it's a bit of a shame. That's a missed opportunity. We've been thinking about what a heel John Cena could look like for over a decade since the sort of 2012 Rock turn. And in interviews, he's talked about how he had the gear made, how he had the heel entrance track. He was going to have more of a wrestling singlet. Take away everything you thought about John Cena. In interviews like just 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure he was talking about everything he stands for or his character embodies, and that includes presentation, he would do the opposite of. So when he came out looking exactly like the John Cena I've hated for so long, I was a bit like, that's a shame. But then when he got to the line in the promo, whether this was always the plan or not, I thought it was crafted brilliantly or retconned brilliantly, where he said, you don't get it.
Yep. I've
given you so much and you always take, so you're not getting the new entrance music. You're not getting the new ring attire. You take me as a human being. This is who I am. And when he said that, I just thought, you have called me out on the thing you've just been illustrating. And now I dislike you in a kayfabe way.
He had this great line where he said, you don't get a new look. You don't get new music. What you get is a long look in the mirror to see how awful you have been for the past 25 years. I think a lot of that is great. And what I loved about this promo, because this was so great, is then he turned to the let's go Cena portion of the crowd. This wasn't just a you have hated me for 20 plus years. The idea of we've hated him for 25 years, I think is a bit of a stretch because, for some of those, he was a heel. But actually, like,
and in OVW.
And I think for the majority of that time, people really liked him. There's a reason why he became as over as he did, is because the crowd so got behind the Doctor of Thugonomics era. But I would say you can easily say we've hated him for 20 years. You know, if you kind of, so 2005, 2006, very much is when the Cena sucks wave came in, because, you know, he does. And, but there's always been this portion that is the let's go Cena portion of the crowd. And they showed something in the crowds, these grown adults decked head to toe in John Cena merchandise, like the big dweebs that they are. They were showing like children dressed up as him and stuff. And he then targeted them. It's like, what have you ever done for me? What have you actually done for me as a human being? I'll tell you what you've done. You've made me the butt of an invisible meme joke for 20 years, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of you using me as an excuse for your pathetic life. So, and then he targeted one kid in particular. He was like, even you child right there.
Yeah, usually I'd be saying, well, that was obviously a plant. But I don't know, man. That just looked like some poor Belgian kid who was caught on camera looking pretty sad.
Oh no, that kid, he's made for life now. He can go to so many wrestling conventions as John Cena kid, and people will take photos. He's made for life now. He's Ms. Girl. He can get booked for so many conventions.
Should we try and book him?
Yeah.
Do a him versus Izzy match in 10 years' time. He sort of talked about how you've objectified me. You've turned me into a toy. And you wear words, my words, like hustle, loyalty, and respect. But you don't live it. I live it. So it's really good stuff. And then he sort of bookends it by reminding you what he said at the start. I have been in a toxic relationship, and you guys are awful, and I'm getting out of it. I thought it was an interesting thing to use toxic relationship in that language there as well, because it feels like that's a heel thing to do in this context. And usually when someone gets out of a toxic relationship, you're very happy for them. You're like, oh man, you need to get out of that situation now. But Cena's using it, I think, in a way that mocks the more insincere side of people using toxic relationship and things like that. But he's also doing it as a heel, pretending we were in a toxic relationship with him.
I don't know if I'd go that far. And actually, I do think that he has been in a toxic relationship with WWE fans, because he has been this smiling babyface for 20 years. And the large majority of the fan base has told him that he's not very good at doing that, and we don't want to see him do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he can't wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, all of this unfortunately does have to build to a match where the bell has to ring, and John Cena has to be the one that works over Cody Rhodes to get the heat. Do you remember WrestleMania 27?
So we're about 20 minutes into the episode now, into Cena's promo, and then Cody Rhodes' music hits, and Cody comes out and he gets this huge babyface reaction because Cena's done such a good job of turning this whole crowd against him. We said it last week when they're in Madison Square Garden. There was a real danger here that because Cena's the new cool toy and he's turned heel like we wanted him to, and Cody is, a bit one-dimensional sometimes. He seems to be going back down that more one-dimensional path after the cool, embattered babyface champion story he was telling around the Rumble period. It's good that it's good that WWE have really solidified babyface heel, so the crowd don't start booing Cody. Because long term, the aim here is to make Cody even bigger, because he's here for the next couple of years. Cena's here for the next 9 months.
I'm going to go back to the point I made earlier about the Sami Zayn Elimination Chamber match, and or is he going to take Cody Rhodes? Is Cody Rhodes taking the Sami Zayn babyface push that he's currently getting, and he's going to be the main event of WrestleMania when actually the fans want Sami Zayn? And actually, people just really got into Cody Rhodes. I think it's the same thing here, because people like WWE at the moment. They're not going to start booing the top babyface of the promotion. If WWE all of a sudden becomes a cold product, and I don't foresee that happening anytime soon for the record, if they do become a cold product, that is when you might see the crowd start to turn on Cody Rhodes. But for the time being, people like WWE too much at the moment to start booing Cody Rhodes. I don't think we're in any danger of that happening anytime soon.
Well, he came out, and I don't think we're in danger of it, but I think it's something to have on your radar. Because Cody then came out, and rather than be full of fire and hurt at John Cena, he was like, I want the real John Cena. Where's the cool John Cena that stands for all those things on your t-shirt there? I don't want this whiny bitch at WrestleMania 41. Otherwise, I'll beat you. And then he walked out. And I thought, I just wanted... I really like the whole segment. If I'm going to be super nitpicky, though, I want Cody to be a bit more badass sometimes. I feel like... And you don't even have to have that come from Cody. I feel like Cody could start walking out and Adam Pearce could just go, people, get in between them, get in between them. This is our WrestleMania 41 main event. Because the last time we saw Cody, Cena did some pretty nasty things to him. And Cody's first response is to have a kind of respectful, oh, you've really disappointed me segment with him. Like, just slap the guy. Just slap him once. Why didn't you even try?
That's
lame.
Because it's because, and I will disagree with you on that one, because I think that this is, Cody Rhodes is disappointed. He's disappointed in John Cena, and it's what they always say about
matches,
parents,
doesn't it? It sells tickets when people are disappointed in your opponent.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed, and ultimately that actually feels worse. You know, when my parents were disappointed in me, that felt way worse than when they were mad at me. And he feels let down by John Cena, which is why he doesn't want this John Cena to show up at WrestleMania, which is actually, you know, could actually go a more dangerous side of John Cena to come out as we head into WrestleMania. I thought Cody was really great in this. You know, Cena, nothing to take with Cena, because Cena was also awesome. I thought that it was the perfect punctuation to this segment. And also, maybe I'm wrong on here. I don't think this heel turn is going to last for a long time. No. I think John Cena is babyface by the summer.
Yeah.
So in order to do that babyface turn, you need to sow the seeds now that this is not going to be a long-term thing.
Luke, you don't need long-term booking.
The Rock can just show up.
Just change him babyface next month. It'll be fine. To all the people who are sort of criticizing this for, well, did this thing happen? You know, we didn't get any explanation about The Rock. I know I just said that Cody should have slapped him. I'm actually saying don't get physical. I'm saying Cody should have tried to get physical with him. But I think they should be kept apart for as long as possible. Don't even touch until the go home show. But yeah, they left a lot in the tank. All they talked about here was John Cena's reason for turning on the fans. Not on Cody, nothing about The Rock, nothing about the 17th world title win. That comes next week, the week after. You've got 5 weeks to fill from here. And I thought, considering how long we've waited for the John Cena heel turn, it is totally fine to spend just 20 minutes for him talking about his reasons for why that came about.
Completely agree. They announced another segment for next week. They've announced another Cody Rhodes John Cena segment for next week. So you don't need to do everything here in this one segment. Don't blow your load now, because otherwise, and again, I hate to sort of invoke the ghost of Jey versus Gunther. You will end up in a Jey versus Gunther situation where I keep writing my notes. Oh, crikey, we've still got another 5 weeks of this. Crikey, we've still got another 4 weeks of this. Like, you want to stretch this out so that it doesn't feel stale by the time it gets to WrestleMania. And I don't think we're in fear of this growing stale because it's two top stars going against each other. It's going to feel cool for a long time. But yeah, you don't want to do every single thing in this one segment. Plus, you know, we've still got we'll have a segment somewhere down the line where The Rock's involved as well. And it's Rock and Cena in the ring with Cody Rhodes, presumably Travis Scott as well. But we'll have to see, because I guess that would be when they get back to the US. When does the go home? It's like the European tour's a long time, because it's in Glasgow next week. And then it's in London the week after that, right? And then it goes back to the US?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So it'll be 2 to 3 weeks of US-based TV.
Yeah.
Let's get into our chat gables / alleged El Chadadors. WrestleTalk.com/support. Please do send them in. We'll read out every single one over $5. The Guilty Hat writes, if there wasn't enough reason for wrestlers to stop doing new people promos, there is now, because Cena just did the best version of it ever. And all it took was 20 years of context to make it mean something. Bravo, John. Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
I think, did you ever used to watch that cartoon? John
Johnny
Bravo?
Bravo, of course.
John Bravo, yeah, good.
Fun fact for you, The Rock was going to play Johnny Bravo in a live-action movie at one point.
There are very few IPs that The Rock has not once been attached to play.
He was going to be Duke Nukem at one point, if I remember correctly.
Lobo. Luke Owen's #1 fan writes, usually when a new heel cuts a you people / fans promo, it falls flat because it's weak and out of nowhere as the justification. But for the first time with Cena, I felt real shame and actually reflected on my behavior. Am I the heel?
No, you are not, because we have been right for 20 years.
Yeah, we are right here. Actually, John's we've been in a toxic relationship with WWE. Will Campbell writes, 1, the crowd definitely understood the assignment. 2, this was probably the most justified you people promo I've ever heard. It sounded very real, with it seeming like the justified anger of a man who's had enough of everything and everyone. Great stuff.
And even then, there's room in the tank. There's still him to. I think he could cut another You People promo next week and have a lot more new material to dive into.
The Patrickle promo wrote, so Cena is basically Woody in Toy Story 1. I was there last night. I've been watching WWE since 2007. Incredible to have a WWE TV show in our small country. Couldn't be happier. Thank you, WrestleTalk, for keeping my passion alive during all these years.
Well, you guys did great.
Laksim Narasimhan B writes, love Cena's promo on Raw, although when Cody's music hit, a crazy part of my brain imagined Cody starting his retort promo with fine speech before maybe dropping Cena with a crossroads.
That is perhaps a missed opportunity. But you want to take, you're trying to take this seriously. You're not trying to just pop Twitter, I guess.
A man wasn't a fan of the opening segment. Don't like the typical you people heel promo. It felt a bit forced. The main motive for the heel turn should be desperation for number 17. Also, no mention of The Rock.
There's still time.
Space Viking. I really hope jealousy is the crux of this feud. Cody is Cena who gets cheers. By all accounts, they should be booing him by now. Social media would make you think so too, but nope. I'm now falling off, Jay. Still agree with Royal Rumble. Looking after is weird, though.
Space Viking is just further proof that social media is not the real world.
Real Double J, despite having the look and attitude of a McDonald's employee who's had enough, sir, breakfast has always ended at 11 a.m. I'm so happy my heel Cena has returned. No, not Thugonomics. It's total divas job. And he's got a list of house rules to lay down on Cody.
That's awesome.
Harriet Mangagel. Hello, Harriet. Hey, guys. Cena's promo has to be one of the best I've ever seen him do. You could tell everything he said was personal, and that's why it made it so much better. The whole segment was pure perfection, and the build-up to WrestleMania is going to be great.
Agreed.
There were parts, particularly when he was soaking in all the booze, and he had the Judge Dredd frown on his face. And I just felt so happy for him, because I thought, you've been wanting to do this for 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
This must be so much fun. Ace writes, I love the way they're doing this John Cena heel turn, where he says he's not a heel or a baby face, just a man who's tired of the crowd treating him like crap. I swear the boos sounded edited in whilst listening live. Love the international crowds.
Yeah, I was going to say, they were so good, it did sound like it was an edited thing, but man, that was just pure reaction.
Italian Josh. Hey lads, after 7 years, first chat. Went to Freeloader. Went to my first show ever last night in Brussels. They're in Italy on SmackDown.
You could have seen Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
Yeah, that's we'll get into that Seth Rollins promo. Woo! Yeah, I'm not going to be here. You're not coming to see the fun stuff I just talked about. Cheer me. They saw their first ever live show in Brussels. But best night of my life. I'll send more than one chat. Have so many thoughts. We love Cena, but he wanted us to boo him, so we gave him our all. Well done. That's how you should behave at a wrestling show.
That right there is WWE fans 2025. They want me to boo him, so I will. That is the sign of a crowd that likes the show they are going to see. Like when we look at Hustle, we love going to watch Hustle in London. I know, I love Lion's Pride. I love Rocco. I love Freddie. I love doing all of this, but they are the baddies. So I will play along and I will boo them. And because it's fun to be part of that, but really they're the best act in the company.
Rafael Garcia. There were 3 things I've never seen in my wrestling life. Shabata McGuinness, Grado in a WWE ring, and John Cena cutting a You People promo. Granted, if anyone deserved one, it's him, but wow. That said, Paul's FIL is showing with these same matches. FIL?
I'm not sure what FIL is.
Maybe it's something about repetitive booking. Yeah, like I've seen Ivy Nile and Dakota Kai enough. Thank you.
And Penta and the other one as well, Ludwig Kaiser.
Oh, father-in-law. So Paul's Vince McMahon is showing with these same matches. There's a lot of TV to book. Charles Berg writes, anyone else think John Cena's face is similar to a gorilla's? I hadn't thought of it.
I mean, I suppose we are descended from ape. So, there's probably going to be some similarities in there.
You're calling John unevolved.
He got shot with a de-evolution gun from Super Mario Brothers 1993, which I will make you watch.
What an outstanding promo with John and Cody. They were both on their A game yesterday. John says we get nothing, but what we got yesterday was something special. Charles Berg for Champion 2025.
He got to pull out. Sorry, he got to pull out the line from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You get nothing. Good day, sir.
Blaze Downey. I don't need John Cena given a reason on why he sold his soul. He's always done what his boss has told him. Yeah. And finally, for now, Roach Senpai writes, I laughed when the cameras panned to the child as if he's asking, what did I do? Also, I feel bad for Io. Rhea is taking the shine too much. It feels too Charlotte of her, inserting herself when it's no longer about her. Go to the back of the line. Well, I disagree with that.
I disagree
with that. Into that with the play-by-play review. So please keep getting in your chat gables to WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll read out every single one over $5. Of course, we opened with the John Cena promo that we've already covered. We had Corey Graves on commentary instead of Pat McAfee.
A 5-star show. In instant improvement.
Pat just loves the US too much. He can't bear to leave it. He tried it with Canada. It didn't go well.
He doesn't know what to eat. All the food tastes weird and different.
To be honest, I didn't really. Corey's energy felt a bit off for me, but it was nice to see him on the main roster again.
I just much prefer his energy to energy.
We got a recap of the Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat WrestleMania 3 Intercontinental title match. Love that style they're doing to hype the main event IC title match. We got Penta beating Ludwig Kaiser in a pretty decent match, actually. No holds barred.
Yeah, I thought Penta running the barricade to hit the Hurricane Rana into the post was really good. The rolling DVD on the announce table. This was my first Raw, by the way, watching it with the new Netflix account the workers got for me, which is now at the highest tier, which means I didn't get any of the ad break stuff. Like it was really weird that it went to ad break and then it just came back to the wrestling. It's weird not seeing as much of the wrestling. Well, I say having to skip so much of the wrestling portion. But so, thank you, by the way. This is my first experience seeing what Netflix is like on replay for the, money bags people who can afford the higher tiers.
Well, we buy time back, don't we? we buy like 15 minutes a week back from not having to watch all the extra gubbins. The finish was really good, I thought. Kaiser has a chair on Penta's throat. And I love it when sort of the wrestlers do a bit of acting dialogue in the matches. Like the classic Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, like, why won't you give up at the Battleground pay-per-view? And Kaiser's there like, admit you're afraid to the man who has zero fear. He's like, admit you're afraid. And Penta just lifts up his hand and does the zero miedo. And that signals Penta's comeback. He hits an arm break, super kicks the chair into Kaiser's face, Canadian Destroyer off the second rope, and a Penta driver to win.
Thumbs up. It's time for Penta to move on from Ludwig Kaiser, and it looks like he is, because he did an interview with Kathy Kelly afterwards saying, I'm coming for the IC title. So big thumbs up from me.
Yeah, because it was Kathy Kelly glasses variant.
No, I'm not going to Dan Layton. I'm not going to be the Dan Layton of this show, fawning over Kathy Kelly. No, I'm a happily married man. Thank you very much. I would never think such things.
Some weeks she has glasses, and other weeks she doesn't have glasses.
Look, she's
That's
an
what I
angel.
mean.
She's an angel. She can do whatever she wants.
All right, you're fawning. Yeah, I liked the structure of the episode because Penta having this match here and then saying, and now I'm going for the IC title. Here is my WrestleMania direction. That bookends the show quite nicely if you take out this John Cena prologue because it comes back and pays off in the main event.
Not only that, but the next scene directly links to what has just happened there. So it was a nice bit of flow. It's one of the few times where I've actually enjoyed us going to the den.
Yeah, so Finn Balor walks into the clubhouse. He's happy. It's St. Patrick's Day, but it's also he gets a shot at the Intercontinental title. And Dom's there like, well, you know, like, you seem in a good mood. Let me pitch who I think the new member of Judgment Day should be. Penta. And Finn's like, what the? He just said he wants to go to for the belt I'm challenging for later.
Not only that, he said he just announced his intentions to go for my IC title. Yeah. So Finn's already acting like he's won the belt.
And Dom's like, I didn't see that bit. I didn't know he was going to say that. And Finn storms off. And it cuts back to Carlito, who just brilliantly goes, you should watch the show, man.
Carlito, by the way, we didn't talk about the line he had last week where he was like, can't believe that John Cena's a bad guy. I thought he'd be a good guy forever. Like me.
Then we got Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile. Yep. Then we got Bianca and Io Sky. This was mostly Chad Gable comes down and Ivy's like, oh, Chad's back, is he? And he's in my corner. And then LWO run down to take out American Made, who are going to interfere. They chase off Chad Gable. That distraction lets Dakota Kai beat Ivy Nile for the second time in about 4 weeks.
Yeah, I talked about this last week, but do you remember you joked that because Raquel Rodriguez beat Bayley and that will likely put her in line for an IC title match? They did a
number one contenders match.
Well, they did a WWE.com thing they put on YouTube where Lyra Valkyria and Bayley had a backstage segment that set up Lyra versus Bayley for an IC title match. So I feel like Dakota Kai winning here means you might just get another one of those IC title matches.
Yeah, the best way to get an Intercontinental title match against Lyra Valkyria is to lose your number one contendership match for an Intercontinental title shot at Lyra Valkyria. Bianca and Io then got a contract signing in the ring. Adam Pearce is adjudicating. Io cuts a promo. Her main point is that she is the Women's World Champion. She said that twice. Then Bianca said, well, I'm going to be the Women's World Champion. I felt like I'm reading a 2012 website article where Women's World Champion is the key word they're trying to rank highly for. So it's said about 8 times in the opening paragraph.
Yeah, I didn't make a lot of notes of what they said because they said not a lot of substance. My first note is they signed the contract. So I don't think that everything they said was not like, oh, there's some killer lines here. Because the segment kind of kicked into a gear. It's kind of was a bit of a misdirect, I guess, because the segment kicks in when Rhea Ripley comes out. Like they signed the contract, the match is official. And then Rhea comes out to kind of do a lot of what she did last week, which is having a go at Bianca Belair, and Bianca Belair being like, no, I'm well within my reason to be doing what I'm currently doing. And Rhea being like, well, I'm going to come out and act like a dick then. And Bianca getting distracted by Rhea and taking her eye off Io Sky, who feels like she's being disrespected because no one is paying attention to her, the Women's World Champion.
Yeah. And that let Rhea headbutt Bianca, so she rolls onto the table, and then Rhea powerbombed Io onto Bianca, onto the table, which somehow didn't break the table.
It's like the announce table.
So that sucked. And then Rhea grabbed the contract, signed it, and Adam Pearce is like, that's not how contract law works. You can't just like, sign a contract.
Make it work then. That sounds like a you problem.
So someone earlier said that they don't like this because they feel like Io Sky is being sort of looked over. Now she's the champion. I agree. I think really, she's the reason she's in this is more functional than we're going to give you a good title run. I feel like Bianca wins at WrestleMania. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But storyline-wise, I think this makes total sense. Rhea granted Io the title shot because Rhea caused Io's Elimination Chamber qualifier match to lose via DQ, because Rhea, did that, and that's how Liv Morgan advanced. So in Rhea's mind, she's like, I gave you that shot, and Bianca interfered in my match, and that's how you beat me for the title. So I should get a rematch. And maybe Io's like, well, yeah, you did do me that solid, and you're being really annoying right now, so I will grant you a rematch as well. Add her to the WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I mean, it's not following on from the promo that she did do after Raw that I think people really liked, where she was blaming herself for the loss. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe she is sort of like she's in that stage of grief where she is like she's done blaming herself. Now she's looking to blame other people, and maybe the realization she'll come to is that it was her fault all along. But yeah, I really like this. It makes complete logical sense to me. I think maybe the reason why some people are down on it is because there's a real stench of WrestleMania 41 of multi-man matches. And I think some people are just, looking for those singles matches at Mania as opposed to just trying to get everyone on the card.
WrestleMania 2000 Mark II. Jey Uso took on Austin Theory. Next, he beat him in 30 seconds, then beat up Grayson Waller too, and then hit AJ Francis, what was his name?
Top Dollar.
Hit row. A top dollar dive by flipping over, getting his feet caught on the top rope, and then landing on his neck on the apron.
And because Michael Cole's on commentary, I'm sure that Jey Uso is also going to be buried every single week on commentary for botching that dive. Yeah, Jey did 3 moves in this and messed up 2 of them because he didn't even hit the spear to win. He hit a crossbody for the win.
Yeah. So Gunther then attacks him afterwards. They had a sort of backstage altercation during Jay's entrance for this match as well. Gunther goes to choke him out. Jey gets out of that and stands tall, and he holds the title belt and throws it back to Gunther. And that was the first time so far that Gunther's looked a bit rattled. But this is just repetitive stuff. It feels undercard, and this is your World Heavyweight Champion and the winner of the Royal Rumble.
Well, I'm going to disagree slightly because I don't think you can say that it feels repetitive because the step that it took is that Jey overcame Gunther's attacks, because Gunther for the last 2 weeks has laid out Jey with the sleeper. This week, Jey got out of the sleeper and stood tall. I think my argument there is that surely you should be building to that spot in the match. Like you should be sort of like building up this idea that Jey can't escape the sleeper so that when you get to the WrestleMania match, Jey actually escapes the sleeper and he hits the spear and he gets the win. But now he's just done it. So now I'm looking at 5 more weeks where I'm keep getting told, I don't know if Jey's got a chance. I'm like, well, it certainly looks like it. He just stood tall in this segment. I think that they have got such a simple story here that they are doing so very badly.
Yeah, I guess the repetitive for me comes, he beat Austin Theory last week. He beat Austin Theory this week.
Well, guess what he's going to do next? Guess what he's going to do next week?
He's going to take him on in a tag match in Glasgow,
yeah.
Which, is quite intriguing because we got a silhouette graphic. It's a mystery partner that he'll be tagging with. And the heavy speculation is on Joe Hendry.
It'd be amazing if it's Joe. That'd be so awesome because it's in Scotland. That'd be like, because I initially just thought like, it'll be Jimmy. But then, it was like when the Scotland thing, I was like, what if it is Joe? That'd be a really fun way to sort of, get the social media trending stuff and actually get a huge reaction from that crowd who'd be so pleased to see Joe there.
Yeah. And distract from the fact that they run out of story for the main title feud. Rhea's shouting at Adam Pearce backstage to put her in the match. Then Bianca and Io both have a brawl and Rhea lays them both out again. The backstage area, by the way, there's a graffiti problem.
No, it was like walking through those bridges in Waterloo. When you're going towards where Drafts is.
Yeah, looked pretty cool though. Then we got American Made versus LWO. This follows on from the Ivy Nile match earlier. We only saw about 3 minutes, and then when it came back from break, the crowd were going nuclear for the LWO. It was a good, quick finish there. Ray wins with the 619 and the splash. But then that luchador, the mystery luchador from last week, has flown to Brussels and he attacks Dragon Lee and he attacks Rey Mysterio. And maybe he was wearing similar clothes to Chad Gable from earlier. And Michael Cole just starts saying, look, I know who that is. That's Chad Gable. And security chase him off again.
But Michael Cole's argument is really very weak. So Corey Graves said, like, I watched Raw last week and I saw someone in a luchador mask attack people. And then later on in the show, saw Chad Gable standing near that guy in the luchador mask. So it's clearly not Chad Gable. They were in the same shot together. And Michael Cole's only argument is, Corey, the mask said American made on it. It has to be Chad. Could be anyone that's just been added to the American. Could be Ivy Nile. Like, it's such a weak argument from Michael Cole. Corey Graves even said there's been lots of people who've got American stuff on wrestling masks. It could be Del Wilkes, former Games Master contestant Del Wilkes. And it's probably not. I think he's dead. But I just think that Michael Cole is not presenting a credible argument that this could be Chad Gable. I've seen with my own eyes. It's not Chad Gable.
We got a recap of Roman Reigns' return from last week, and then Seth Rollins came out. So no Roman on this show, no CM Punk on this show. It's the other guy. And he got a huge reaction from the crowd because they love singing his rubbish song. And he cut a promo. He talked about how Paul Heyman masterminded the whole thing, but they forgot about CM Punk. If Seth had just a few more seconds, he would stomp Punk and solve that problem once and for all. Now he's got to clear up Roman's mess again. You know what? Roman and CM Punk are going to be on SmackDown in Italy this Friday. I'm going to show up there too. That's all he said. That took 20 minutes to deliver.
Yeah, this could have been an email.
This could have been... Look, my thing here is this could have been a backstage pre-tape or like a fancily produced vignette. Because... And you saw this on SmackDown when Heyman came out and he's like, oh yeah, well, we're going to be in Italy next week, but you losers, like, to just buy a flight to go over there on your cheapo airlines. Oh no, wait, you're in Spain. It's a heel thing to do. To go to a show and say, well, you can't have the match tonight, you'll get it at the pay-per-view or at the next show, because the crowd live in attendance want to see the thing you're hyping up. So that should be a heel thing. And Seth Rollins goes out there and says, well, I'm going to go and see these two stars and do the interesting thing in Italy in 4 days' time. And none of you people are going to be there. And they all went quiet.
Yeah, there was a smattering of boos. When he said the cool thing's going to happen on SmackDown, there was it wasn't like a boo as in like, but it was like a, oh man, I was hoping to see the cool thing.
But even like, there's no one there thinks that's going to happen. They're all wrestling literate. They all know he's hyping up the promo for the next episode. But there will be a natural response of, but we're not going to see it, are we? Mm-hmm. So don't do it in front of a live audience. Have this as the pre-tape, like I said, because then Seth has this desperate finish to his overly long promo where he's like, yeah, but we got a great show in store for you tonight. You like singing my song earlier? Please sing it again. I need to heat you back up. This is meant to make you excited for the Intercontinental title match, and you all look upset now.
Yeah, he brought the crowd down and then had to try and pick them back up in the most like, I've been to indie shows like this where they're not a responsive crowd. They're like, hey, and now we're going to try and hype you up. It might as well have Jeremy Borash out there being like, the loudest people will get to go backstage and have your photo taken with Magnus.
Seth needed a t-shirt gun. That's what he was doing here. I thought this was the worst thing on the show for me.
Yeah, this was awful. Could have been an email. At best, it should have been a pre-tape.
They are so smart in wrestling psychology of crowds. I don't know how this got through any planning stage, unless something ran short. But I don't believe that's the case.
No.
Because the Cena promo ran way too long and everything else felt short off the back of it.
I don't think this was always the plan. I think the mindset to do this is, well, we've got to have one of the guys, follow on from last week's angle. And because Punk and Roman aren't there, it has to be Seth that goes out there. But Seth all Seth can do is promote SmackDown. So the mindset is, at least we put a star out there, and this Brussels crowd's got to sing the entrance theme song.
Yeah. Do as a pre-tape, bring him out for a dark match. Kathy Kelly is backstage with her glasses and AJ Styles. And he's talking about Logan Paul. Then Karrion Kross walks over and said, well, maybe AJ, you're not mad at Logan. You're mad at yourself. And AJ's like, this isn't going to work on me. And he storms off. And Karrion goes, it's working.
There's something that Reddit pointed out as a really nice little detail that Karrion Kross has done in all of his feuds, is that he changes his hair to look like the person he's currently trying to manipulate. So at the moment, he has got the soccer mum haircut that, he's just trying to get everyone to get into the minivan to get across to practice. And when he had the segment with Sami Zayn, he had it in sort of like the man bun that Sami Zayn has. I think that's a lovely little touch from Karrion Kross, who has been one of the more underrated. I would say he's been underrated for the last few years, but he has not been great since his return. But this last year or so, where he's just been this devil's advocate that's not having matches, has been really, really great TV.
You telling me last year he was feuding with Sullivan Bo Brown then?
we know.
And then we got our main event, an Intercontinental title defense of Bron Breakker against Finn Balor. Which is what his Tron now says. Finn Balor. Which is that Irish?
No, it just removes all the vowels.
Well, there's no vowels. I guess Welsh is just having way too many vowels.
No, it's putting W's and Y's into it, where you add. That's where you add the extra consonants in.
So there was 16 minutes left of the show by this point. So actually, by Raw standards in 2025, this was a short main event. And it's Bron's power early. He runs around the ring and Finn cuts him off with a sling blade. Bron starts to get back on top. Carlito and Dominic Mysterio walk down. Balor seems kind of annoyed that Judgment Day have joined him at ringside.
Yeah, he shouts, that's not the plan.
And then they go back and forth. And the finish is Carlito distracts the referee while Bron has Finn up on the top rope. And Dom pushes Bron Breakker off the top rope. But in so doing, he crotches Finn Balor.
Dicks him.
And Finn Balor looks at him. He dicks him. And Finn Balor's like, oh, what have you done? And Bron hits an awesome Frankensteiner and then hits a spear to retain.
Yeah, it was a perfectly fine match it was.
We've probably had our fill of title changes in the last 3 weeks.
Well, there was never going to be a title change here. Because Bron had this promo earlier where it was like, no one can take this title from me. And I was like, well, Jey could. Remember that 2 weeks? There was that period. I know you're trying to make me forget it, but I'm going to remember this one.
Dom and Carlito attacked Bron afterwards. Penta runs down, and Penta and Bron beat everyone up there. And it's Penta and Breakker standing for your closing visual with the IC title, because that's most definitely the WrestleMania match.
So you don't think it's going to be the six man, multiple people? Because Dom picked up the belt and he was looking at it as well, which, she could put Dom into the match. Maybe that's how you can get Finn back into the match as well. I mean, look, I don't love the idea of doing a big 6-man, unless it's a ladder match, a big sort of 6-man scramble for the IC title. I would actually be more into Bron versus Penta as a singles match, because also I don't think it puts enough shine on Penta, who you should be using this match to kind of really put a spotlight on.
I want the North American NXT ladder match. I'm thinking, I definitely think Bron and Penta. Definitely think that's happening. But do we then also get Finn, Dom, AJ, Logan Paul? Because I think that is a killer ladder match for an Intercontinental title. And I'll have Dom win.
No, I think no, because here's my thing with Dom. When Dom wins his first title, it should be the World Heavyweight Championship.
No, that's too much.
No, it's not. Have you seen the state of that belt? If he wins it, it'll actually raise the stock of that belt. If he's going to win any belt, it should be that one.
All right, let's get into. Well, I gave the show 85%. I thought the opening segment was, one of the better segments in WWE history. But the rest of the show was a bit more in third, fourth gear.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, this felt a lot like Backlash France, which, had that absolutely killer match with AJ and Cody. But the rest of the show was, like, fine. But because it was such a hot crowd, it elevated it. And I think that's the same thing here. This was a good show elevated by an incredibly great crowd and that awesome John Cena Cody Rhodes segment at the start.
Well, everyone have your vote. You should have the poll on screen now. We'll be getting to your remaining chat gables very shortly. But first, let's say a big thank you to our wonderful PledgeHammers on Patreon, who right now can watch episode 2 of Monday Night War, because that is back. Yes, it is on YouTube for everyone. Don't worry, for the next 25 weeks, me versus Luke, Monday Night War on PFK.
It's not like we didn't say it in the episode. I'm just, maybe if you're going to leave a comment, watch the video first before you get your gander up.
Watch the first 4 minutes of the video before you start going, oh, so great, I can watch this, and then it's all behind a paywall. But yes, please do go over to the paywall, because you can watch that a week early, and also you get a shout out on this very show, like WrestleTalk's personal problem solver, Jamie Donovan.
John Jenkinson, son of Jenka.
The heir to the throne, Kate Ayers.
King of the Casino Gauntlet, Kira Soltari.
Manipulating Manu Maria.
The needs of the Manny Cornish outweigh the needs of the few.
Greater than great, Master Nate.
Max Kurt Wallander Wallen.
The batsman Nathan Batty.
Probably better than Kyle Philip O'Reilly.
The man who wears the gold, the man recognised by SWAF Nation International as the 24/7 champion, our legend.
And lastly, for this Hall of Fame class, on the 18th of March 2025, Mr. Moneybags Rich Holt.
Thank you very much, everyone, for that. Patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Go over there to get your own shout out and loads of bonus videos. Right, the remaining chats. We have our man on the ground, Ben Vlerick. Hater of the French. He writes, lads, I mostly had an absolute blast. We booed Cena out of the building, sang Rollins his stupid song, yeeted our butts off, and Penta's entrance is literal fire. And unexpected Rey Mysterio match, the most pleasant surprise of all. Real holy S-word moment. We all lost our minds for Rey. I got to see a 619 in my lifetime. That's nuts. However, shady that the commercials for Raw up until the last moment featured CM Punk, only for him to not be there, not even for a dark match segment. Truly broke my heart. Punk's my all-time favourite, was looking most forward to him, got my Punk shirt on, and after the Rollins segment ended, my friend could just tell I was furious. He got pulled from some events, but he was still confirmed for this one. Bigger heel turn than Cena, this is my villain origin story. Anyway, still loved it, and it was a great night. Remember the dark days when you reviewed WWE in the Vince era? Boy, were we miserable. Look at us now. Despite the Punk heartbreak, I'm still overjoyed. Love wrestling and WrestleTalk.
Card subject to change.
Yeah, but like that, I thought he was pulled earlier. I remember seeing that Punk was not on a few shows.
Because he's pulled from the London. He's pulled from the London Raw as well.
But if that's the case, and he was being advertised up until the show, that explains why the crowd are like, what? What, Seth Rollins?
I thought he was announced earlier as being pulled from this show. Maybe I've got that one wrong. Maybe it's a different one that he was pulled from. I'm pretty sure it's the Brussels one. It was the Brussels one and the London date. Although, talking about sort of like the old days, the old dark days of us reviewing WWE, I've actually got a question for you, Ollie Davis.
Can you remember the tallest man you've ever seen?
Let's do a different clip from the pandemic era after our chat.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so some guy writes, said it last week, EO is the only champion to take the pin. They are unwilling to put Bianca over Rhea. I can only guess they don't want either to have a definitive win over the other. I guess I just don't get why you're saving it, if not for at WrestleMania.
I think Bianca wins. Yeah, I think Bianca wins at WrestleMania, and you build to Bianca and Rhea as the singles match at Mania 42.
Clip me.
What shall I do? Oh,
Briefcase.
Yeah, briefcase.
Yes, it's a briefcase.
Oh, briefcase.
Christopher Hines. The fact that the world title scene was bang in the middle of the show and the IC title was not only the main event, but also opened the show via Penta declaring for it. That's not strictly true. Cena opened the show. Says everything you need to know about the current state of the world title. But yes, agree there.
I agree with that.
Clip
one.
me.
Do you know what? I haven't got as many clips as we've got chats. So I'll do one after the next two.
I got excited. Montfort. Great show. European crowds really bringing their A game so far. Las Vegas in danger of sounding like a morgue in comparison. Cena segment delivered, and Jey summed up his whole WrestleMania build in one match. Final nail in the JD coffin, please. Hashtag Team Bottom.
Okay, well, Montfort, wrong on the end point there, of course, and wrong on the point that we're getting the final nail in the Judgment Day coffin, because I've been saying that for 2 years now.
If you want to join Team Bottom or the inferior Team Elbow, go and watch
Team
our
Elbow.
Royal Rumble 2013 review on the WrestleTalk channel.
Team Elbow.
Shell
Hashtag Team
hard.
Elbows to chests.
Shell hard. Right. Hi, guys. Honestly, other than the Cena promo, I think this Raw was pretty skippable. It wasn't bad. It was just a bunch of nothing matches. The main event was good, but it has a faction that I care nothing about. At least they're building the IC Mania match.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, mostly skippable, but I did enjoy, like, you know, the stuff we got at the end was awesome. The stuff we got with Cena and Cody was so great, and there is some build for that IC title picture. But yeah, like, a lot of it was like fine. Do you want to clip? Because actually, I say that I've got a question, but I think you've got a question for me.
Did you guys just see that? These are my pre-recorded responses to a live reactions I couldn't be
reactions.
Italian Josh. Io is a megastar, even making us boo Bianca and Rio when they hit her. I love chanting, "You deserve it." She looked genuinely emotional. We waited all night for AJ. We wanted him to hear us. Could have taken off Seth and put this instead. We were deflated when Seth told us Punk and Roman weren't there. Only half of us sang when Seth left. When the screen advertised Punk for SmackDown, the whole crowd booed. Overall, we tried to be the best crowd ever, and we hope you enjoyed. Love you guys so much. Thanks for making my days better.
You very much did make the show better, so thank you very much for your hard work in that crowd. I think WWE is always, despite the fact that it is a very over company at the moment, they're always going to have that position where not everyone is on the shows, and so you are going to have some people who feel like, I'm sure there will be some people in Glasgow next week who will feel like, oh, I didn't get to see X or I didn't get to see Y, but you did. Like, maybe they don't get a Rey Mysterio match, in which case then the Brussels crowd did get to see the Rey Mysterio match. I think they're not going to be able to please everyone.
Scott Steiner is this person's username. Having watched interviews with the guy, I don't think he knows how to use super chat functions, but maybe he is. The TDJ are screwed.
Maybe it's the Judgment Day.
The Judgment Day are screwed. The numbers don't lie. They lost 65% of what kept them strong plus extra. 30% Rhea, she's Rhea. 25% theme song, kept the group alive. 15% Dom, things clicked once he joined. 10% Priest, alone he is below Dom. Could have been below Finn, but 5% Finn. World Heavyweight Championship and Money in the Bank story wasted. Minus 20% for Finn Balor's demonic potential wasted again.
He's got a t-shirt now as well that says 10 years of Finn, because it's been 10 years that he's been in WWE.
Should be 10 years of Pin.
Very good.
Finn, right. I fear I will never be as excited for a WrestleMania as I was for XL ever again.
I think we can get there.
Special
it was
time
great.
that was.
It was a special time, but we can get there again.
Benny Adams, what I would do to see Danielson confront this version of Cena, would love to see them in the same ring one last time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's, you know.
That's not one I clamor for. You know, like, I see this heel Cena, and I just cannot wait for Punk to get in there with him.
Yeah, that is the match I'm more excited for. Like, I have seen some people be like, man, I want to see him in the ring with Randy Orton. And I'm like, whoop, nope, let's not wish too much for things, shall we? Same with a babyface Edge. But, you know, like, I think Punk is the one I would I would like to see.
Marty El Tico Luchador writes, I was at the live event this weekend, and G-Team, maybe means Heating, is awesome. Seeing Jey live is amazing, but watching him on TV is really boring. Gunther also had a great cage match with AJ Styles. I don't know why he is not booked like that on TV. What do you guys think?
Dude, they did book him like that on TV. Did you see the match he had with Axiom on SmackDown? That was rad. That's what I want to see from Gunther in this World Heavyweight Championship thing.
And it's also how they kind of booked him for, a year and a half when he was the Intercontinental Champion. This is one of the worst, the most disappointing modern title reigns, Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship run.
Sign of the
Brian
time,
writes.
Sorry, sign of the time clip from 2020.
Another roll-up finish. Ugh. Brian writes, hello guys, as a 21-year-old now, it's crazy to see how Cena has come. I was not...
Sounds like you had a big one.
I was 9 at WrestleMania 28. He was Superman to me, and if he turned heel then, it would have made more sense. Imagine John Cena's reign of terror. Oh, I lived through it. I don't have to imagine
I was going to say, yeah.
Cody doesn't feel like a strong babyface in this. I agree.
Yeah.
Currently.
Pardon my lewdness. I got a boner for that.
Jim, I agree the promo that Seth did last night should have been a pre-tape, and WWE should have all three in the ring and cut promos on each other.
Well, we're getting that on SmackDown.
Will Campbell, hi again, guys. I love the bit where it's Dom with an identical shot to Eddie holding the IC title belt. I agree that Dom should win the proposed six-way at Mania because he's been so good for a couple years now. He's such a good guy at IRL that he deserves gold.
Yeah. I mean, he's been a very good heater for the Judgment Day.
Yes, I did also see the shot. Have you seen that online comparing Eddie Guerrero?
Yeah.
And Dom's got the same haircut, the same Latino Heat t-shirt, honoring his daddy. Mayor of Painesville, Dan. Hello, Ollie. Hello, Luke. Hope you are doing well. WWE Raw had cameos. WXW European Champ Mike D, WXW Shotgun Champ Joseph Fennick Jr., WXW Head Coach Robert Dressica, Legion Wrestling Champ Yuval Goldschmidt. It was cool to see people I trained with on Raw.
Very cool.
Then?
Might have been a part of like the
security
part
for
with the Rhea segment, yeah.
That's awesome, though. And congratulations, Dan, for doing his first bit of wrestling commentary over the weekend. Genuinely so proud of you.
Absolutely love to see it.
Kazoo writes, show peaked in the opening, unfortunately. I do find it kind of sad that the Jey Gunther also peaked in the first week, and that performance didn't do much to disprove the critics. This Rhea, Bianca, Io stuff is great business, and my most invested feud.
My most invested is still the Cena Cody thing, personally.
And finally, for now, Bushin Ryu Cat writes, last night John Cena broke up with me, and all he left me was a small bag of empty Snickers wrappers and a pair of Jordans with holes in the soles. Is that a reference to something?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm too old. I'm too old.
What's Sat doing on Tuesdays? Also, who was that man Dominic was talking to in the background when you first see Bron?
I can see. I did see that he was talking to someone. It was when I think like Dakota Kai walked past them as well, but I didn't go back to check who it was.
Yeah, because that could be a clue of a Judgment Day recruit to replace Finn. What's Sat doing on Tuesday? Well, he's at home being a dad, isn't he?
Yeah, he's being a wonderful father to his children.
Shall we see the result of the poll then?
Yeah, while I'm ending this poll, I've got a couple of other questions for you, actually.
What goes on in this town is none of your business.
As long as I'm living here, it is.
Then maybe you shouldn't be living here!
All-time great performance by Bron Hom. Oh, we just had a moderator say it was Karrion Kross, apparently, Dominic talking to in the background. That could be a nice merging of factions, considering that Kross has lost his
entire group.
Testament. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Scarlett left, I think. One last one while I was just getting the poll results up.
I'm an ass man.
Sorry, Pete. 78% thumbs up, 18% in the middle.
Well, yep, it was a good episode of Raw. Dragged up by that great heel Cena promo.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for joining us all here today. Go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk to get loads more exclusive things. Go watch the 4-hour Royal Rumble 2013 review that went up over the weekend. And also check out episode 1 of Monday Night War. It's back. It's on Parts Unknown right now. But for now, I've been Ollie Davis. It's been Luke Owen, DAD. Is that way. Jam that jam.
Jam that jam, everyone.